Hello and welcome everyone to today's, well, one of two videos that will probably be uploaded one after the other. But today we're going to be opening up two of the new Buddyfight X start decks. So one of them is for Dragon World, the other one is for Star Dragon World. And these are two completely new decks that have been introduced to the game, and they work a bit different than what else the world has offered so far. So before we begin, big thanks to Bushiroad for sending these in, as well as the box of X-SD01 that we'll be opening up in a later video. So I do have a friend with me today to also demo out these decks, but first of all we're going to open them up and quickly go over them before we do that. Alright, so here we have the two start decks, the first one of which is Demon Lord Dragon of Tempest. So this is the new Dragon World start deck, and I like how on the back now they have these little ratings, like one for offense, defense, and technique, and it's the same on this one, which is Dragon Fielder, so it's for the new Star Dragon World archetype. So this one is just completely defensive, it's like a super tanky deck, while this is just all combos and multi-attacks and basically making advantage off of multi-attacks. So we're going to crack both of them open in this one video. We're going to start off with the Dragon World deck, and there is some tape that I need to get rid of first of all. Alright, so cracking this open, it already says on the back here the contents. So we do get the pre-constructed deck, the life counter, rule sheet, and paper playmat. So that's the contents for this start deck. So cracking this open, we do have, well, before we get into the deck, we do have the rulebook, life counter, and the playmat. So let's crack open the playmat first, and it should have some simple combo rules on the back as well. Yeah, so this is mostly just cards that you find in this start deck and kind of promoting both the characters. So there's both Gao and the new Star Dragon World guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but so that's that. And then there's the simple paper playmat on the other side, so just like in every other start deck, except now it updated the logo as well to match the current series. So let's put that aside, we don't really need it for now. And so the life counter has changed a little bit, because normally they would just put it on, 10 life. So, well, you can actually do that quite easily here as well, but they started with 15, so the new life counter does look nice. Not sure if I'd use this one, because they do have ones that are better than Gao to look at, but we do have that. And then this is just a simple rule book. It's not even a book, it's more like a kind of foldable piece of paper, so just kind of to help you get started. And there's a little manga spread to also teach you the rules of the game, so there's that. Now, taking a look at this deck, we're gonna, I'm gonna assume that a lot of people that are watching might not be Buddyfight players or have played Buddyfight, so this is more aimed at the people that are more interested in trying it out. So this deck is a good one to start with. So we do have the Dragon World flag. When you do play Buddyfight, you do need to have your flag, which represents which deck you're playing, or which world. And then let's go over the actual cards. So the two foils, it seems, are first of all the new ace monster, which is Resurrected Archdragon Butts. So just looking at his skill, you can see that it's a lot more, a lot more combo based. Like, he gets double attack and he's able to destroy monsters. He's immune to effects. Well, he's immune to being destroyed on your own turn, so it's quite nice for that. So this is the new ace monster, and this is the foil impact that comes with the start deck. So this is Thundersword X Tempest Blade. So it's not super flashy, but it's good for start. It's just 4 gauge for 4 damage, but your opponent does have to be on a 4 or less life, and you have to have attacked at least twice, and it does specify that link attacks count as 1 attack. So those are the foils for this start deck, and the rest we have another 4 copies of Butts, so you can have one as your buddy. So it's good that they took care of that, because some of the old start decks didn't do that. This is the size 3 for the start deck, so he's just 2 gauge, and if you have an item equipped, he gets another crit, and he has double attack, so there's that. And then the rest, we have the size 2 mover, 525, nothing too flashy, but still good enough. And then we have 1 copy of Rectangle, so 1 gauge, 522, size 2. When he enters the field, you can equip a Thunder Empire item from your drop zone by paying its equip cost, and has Penetrate, so overall a pretty solid card. And then we have 4 size 1s, 521, nothing too flashy, just, average stats. Then 2 decons. If you have an item equipped, he gets plus 3k power, so there's another one of the size 1s. And then we have 4 Cornos. When he enters the field, you can give another card plus 2k power. Nothing too super flashy, but it's all just good for starting out. Then we have Hector. He's a size 0, which you don't really see that often in start decks. When he enters the field, if you have a Thunder Empire item equipped, you can put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So good card, just gives you easy advantage. Basically just have an item equipped, call him out, and you get some advantage. So that's it for the monsters. So it's really nice to give us size 0s, because normally I wouldn't expect that from a start deck. And like in some of the older trial decks, you would never get one. So there's that. And now onto the spells, we have 4 Destroy Thunder. When you have a Thunder Empire in your field, you pay 1 life to destroy a monster in the opponent's field. Just overall solid control. And then this one just gives you 3 gauge and a life, but it doesn't have counter speed, so it's not super amazing. Thunder Energy is just the Thunder Empire +3/+3 counterattack clone, so we expected that. And this is probably my favorite part of this start deck, to give you 2 blue dragon shields. That is insane, because like back in the day, these would be so hard to come by because they were just part of one set, which was BT01, and they were rares, and like they were just so hard to come by, and everybody wanted them. And now it's kind of cool to see them just printed easily in a very cheap and easy to get start deck. So definitely a very cool move by Bushiroad for doing that. Then 4 green dragon shields. This one is a staple in every start deck and well, in most Dragon World builds. And then the items, we have 2 electric spears, 1 gauge. If you have 2 or more Thunder Empires on your field, he gets penetrate, so it's definitely solid. It's also a 5/2. And then we have Arc Dragon Dagger, just a 3/2 with no other effect. And then the last thing is another 2 of the impact that we already went over, so there's a total of 3. So this is the Dragon World start deck, so let's quickly go over the Star Dragon World as well, and then we'll show you a quick game with the 2 decks. Alright, so now let's go over the other one. I'm going to try to be a bit quicker with this one this time, because it did take a bit long to go over the cards of the last start deck, and most of you are probably already familiar with it. Well, those of you that do play Buddyfight are probably already familiar with them, but now let's go over the, in my opinion, a bit more exciting start deck. So this is the same 2 things that we had in the last one, so nothing too exciting. This is the new life counter for the new football boy. So again, it goes up to 15. Well, these life counters goes up to a total of 24, but let's set it to let's set it to 10, as it should be. So this one actually is quite pretty. So this deck is very, very defensive, and I'm excited to see what we pull in the box as well, if we get anything for this deck as well, because it's something very new. I think it's the most defensive deck out there in Buddyfight right now, just the most like tanky deck ever. Like you pretty much never get hit in your life, so it's quite nice. So the ace monster of this deck is a Thora. So it's a 7/7 size 3, and by putting the top card of your deck into its soul and paying 2 gauge, you can call it out, and if it's in your center, he cannot be destroyed by card effects during your opponent's turn. So that's really, really cool. Like, it can still be destroyed on your turn by counter speed effect, but still pretty solid, especially for a start deck. And it also has double attack and soul guard, which you can always expect from one of these. So we also get another 4 copies of it, so you can buddy one of them. So that's definitely nice that they take care of that. And then the other foil that we have is the impact, which is Crystal Flawless Shoot. So it's the one of the Prism Dragon impacts. You can only cast it during your opponent's final phase. If you didn't take any damage during this turn, you have a size 3 Prism Dragon on your center. You pay 3 gauge to deal 3 damage to your opponent, but it has counter speed, and it's really interesting that they made this on your opponent's turn, but you cannot take any damage that turn, and you have to have a size 3 Prism Dragon. So that's quite a tough condition in my opinion, but I haven't played around with this deck, so I don't know exactly how hard it is to achieve just for this deck exactly, but we'll see. So pretty interesting impact. It's nice that it has counter speed, so there's that. And now we have a lot of size 3s because this deck does focus on them. One is Lemur, so call cost, put top card into the soul and pay a gauge, and he has Soul Guard, 7/7, sorry, so that's definitely a nice stat total at least. Then we have 2 Blantes, put top card deck into its soul and pay 2 gauge. When he enters, he gains 3 life, so that's definitely nice. It's 6/7, size 3 with Soul Guard as well, as expected. Pretty much all of them have Soul Guard, well, most. Then we have 3 Jabeels. I also really like the border of Prism Dragon, so I like the old Star Dragon World board a bit more, but this one's also pretty nice. So 2 gauge when he attacks, you gain life, and he has double attack, so essentially gain 2 life. Pretty good. So I think that's the last one of the size 3s, yeah. And now we have 4 size 1s. If you have a size 3 monster on your center, he reduces the size by 1, so he becomes a size 0, so it's good to pair up with all your size 3s. And then the other actual size 0s, one is a counteract. During attack on your opponent's turn, you can pay a gauge and put him into the drop zone if you nullify the attack. It's kind of like Glacies in a way, but, well, that type of card, I would say. But it's nice that this is a pretty good card for a starter deck. Definitely nice to see. Other 4, just a generic size 0, no effects, just 2/1, so at least nice stats. 2 crit is definitely cool. And then the last size 0 and the last monster is when he enters the field, if you have a size 3 monster, you can gain a life. So overall, really nice monster lineup. It's just size 3s and, well, 0s essentially, because the 1 does reduce to 0 as well. Now onto the spells, this is mostly new stuff. So Dispersion, you can only cast it if you have Prism Dragon in your center, pay 2 gauge to draw 2 cards. It's nice that it's not restricted to life, usually these things are to 6 or less, so definitely nice to see that. Visible Light, put top 2 cards into your gauge, and if you have 8 life or more, you put another one to the gauge, so usually you'll be gauging 3 with this deck, so pretty nice card as well. This is once again the +3/+3 counterattack, counter speed for Prism Dragons, so also really nice art. I like a lot of these arts. And then we have 4 Mars Barrier, so you can only cast this during your opponent's turn, nullify if it's not a link attack, so this basically got a reprint. And then this is one of the newer cards, Harry Glind. You can only cast on your opponent's attack while during your opponent's turn, and counter-call Prism Dragon from your hand to your center by paying its call cost, and for this battle it gets counterattack, and you change the target of that attack to that monster. So really cool card, because it lets you bring out a size 3 in your opponent's turn, which also works nicely with the impact. So fairly solid card. And now the items for this deck are quite interesting because they don't have any attack. They sometimes have a crit, but they have defense power, so your opponent has to get over that, which usually items, unless they're hero wall, don't have. So this one can attack even if there's a monster in your center, so definitely nice. You know, it's only going to be doing like 1 damage, but it's not going to be attacking any other opponent's monsters. You know, this one doesn't have any attack or any crit, but it has 4 defense, and it's a 1 gauge. Prism Dragon in your center gets +1/+1, and at the end of the battle, that a Prism Dragon monster in your field was attacked, if you have a Prism Dragon in your center, you put the top card of your deck into your gauge, but you can only do that once per turn. So that's the last item, and then we have 2 more of the impacts that we already saw, and the new Star Dragon World flag. Yeah, it doesn't look that good with the new border, it looked better with the old one, but you know, that's how it is. So these are the 2 start decks that I tried to quickly go over, and now we're going to quickly show you a game featuring these 2 so that those of you that are complete beginners can see how the flow of a game plays out. So, I'm going to be showing off the 2 start decks here with me playing Star Dragon World and Mr. Stash playing Dragon World. So as with usual Buddyfight rules, we start by drawing 6 cards from the top of our decks with no mulligan allowed. This is not the best. And then after that, we both put the top 2 cards of our decks into our gauge. So that goes there. And we will be using paper playmats, and we didn't sleeve things because we're civilized human beings who don't throw cards against the wall, so that shouldn't affect their state or anything. So just to keep things simple, I'll be starting off first, so just to kind of explain the flow of the game. So, are we ready?
Yep.
Alright, so open the flag. Alright, so I'm playing Star Dragon World and he's playing Dragon World, and since I take the first turn, the player who goes first does not draw the top card of their decks, but we are allowed to do what's called a charge and draw, where we take 1 card from our hand, put it face down in the gauge, and draw the top card of the deck. Another thing that the first player can only do is that, now I'll move on to the main phase, so I can call out my monsters and my items and whatnot. So I'll call out Jibil, and his call cost is 2 gauge, so that goes into my drop zone. And his effect does say when this card attacks, I gain a life. He has double attack, but because I'm going first, I can only attack once, so that doesn't matter too much at this timing. And so I'm going to move on to the attack phase, and as I said before, the player going first can only attack once, so I'll attack you for 2 damage.
Yeah, I'll take the damage.
And his effect, when it attacks, I can gain a life, so that also works now, so I'm up to 11, and now it's your turn.
Okay. Alright, I'll play Bats. Then I'll equip...
Don't forget that you can also do the buddy call.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Then I equip Electric Spear. That's 1
gauge, and he's also 1 gauge.
Yeah.
There you go. And also, this is Stash's first time playing Buddyfight, so it's the authentic starter deck experience.
And then I play Hector, Cool Guy Bird.
Yeah. What's his effect?
If I have a Thunder Empire weapon, which I do, put the top card of your deck into your gauge.
Okay, nice.
There we go.
So we get another one.
Right. How much defense do you have? 6,000.
Yes.
I will...
What's his effect again?
I think it's double attack if I have a...
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah, so it does actually have double attack now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I will link attack with my weapon and with my pingu into your monster.
And don't forget to rest them.
Yeah.
And this one has penetrate as well, right?
Yeah. So that's 2.
Alright, so since that is a link attack, I can't do much about it. So this guy does go to the drop zone, and I'm going to be taking 2 damage from the penetrate, which, because you did attack the center, and now I'm open for more attacks.
And then I double attack with bats.
Yeah, so the way the double attacks work is that you do one first and then you do another one. So do your first one, which I will take, so I'm down to 7. And now you can stand him again to do another attack.
Yeah, there we go.
And this one, I'm gonna cast Mars Barrier, which on counter, if you're attacking me on your turn, then I can nullify it if it's not a link attack. So
okay,
that attack is nullified.
Okay. And turn.
Alright, so my turn, stand and draw. And I'll charge and draw. Actually good. So from my hand, I'll call Lemur. So his call cost is to put the top card of my deck into his soul and pay 1 gauge.
So he has Soul Guard.
Yep, he does have Soul Guard. So he's going to be a bit tougher to kill. And then, because the size total, for those of you that haven't played Buddy Fight, is you must have, like, your monsters on the field can only add up to size 3 or less. So Slash has a 2 and a 0, so that's still fine. And I have a 3. So if I called a size 1 or size 2, then that would be a problem. But I could call a size 0 and it still equals to 3. So this is Malbec, doesn't have any effects. And I'll also call Viamir, who is also a size 0. And his effect is, if I have a size 3 monster in the center, I can also gain a life. So I go back up to 8. So that's good for me. And finally, I'm going to equip Crystal Ball. Now, Crystal Ball has a special skill that he can attack even if I have a monster in the center. Normally in Buddy Fight, if you have a monster in the center, then you can't attack because there's something blocking. But with this item, I can do that. But it doesn't have any attack power and only has 1 critical. So, now I'll attack with my weapon directly to you for 1 damage.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Now let's see, this one has 1 defense and he has 4. It's not exactly the best thing ever. I'll hit you for 2. So directly to you for 2 damage.
I'll take it as well. So I'm on 5.
Okay. And then with 3, I'll attack on your 1 defense Pingu.
Yeah, he dies.
Okay. You're on 5. How many cards do you have in hand?
4.
4.
How many do you have? 1.
1. So not the best, but not the worst. Now I could deal 3 damage to York, or I could get rid of him, but if you have a spell to defend that, then it's not much use. So I'll just attack you for 3 damage.
I will block it with Green Dragon Shield and I get 1 life.
Yes, that nullifies the attack and gets you a life, so you're up to 6. And that's the end of my turn.
Alright.
So now...
Okay, I'll play Distinguished Replenisher. So top 3 cards of my deck.
I'm going to engage.
Yep, and I gain 1 life. So I'm on 7.
Just see. Okay, that's Thunder Emperor.
Yeah.
Good.
What life are you on? 8. Can I now heal with these 2? Or would
It's
I
only
need to-
when it's
okay.
cold. So that's why I asked last time.
Yeah, okay, I summon Lance Knight.
Okay.
And I have an item equipped so he gets plus 3000 power.
Okay, so he's on 7.
So he's on 7.
That's good against mine.
Yeah. Alright. I will link attack with him and with my weapon onto your guy
Center.
in the center.
Okay, so because of Soul Guard, I do lose a soul, but the penetrate does go through, so I do lose 2 lives, so I'm down to 6.
Yeah. Then I attack with bats first to your guy in the center.
Yep, so I'll be losing him.
And then for the second attack, You're at 6 now, right?
Yes.
I select face.
Face, so I'll go down to 4.
And then, in my cool guy final phase,
Oh boy.
I use Thunder Sword Tempest Blade, and I deal 4 damage to you.
What's the cost of it? You only can say if your opponent has 4 life or less and your cards have attacked 2 times or more during this turn, you have to pay 4 gauge for it. So just to make sure you can do that.
Yeah.
And then you do indeed deal 4 damage, and I don't have any ways to reduce it, so I go down to 0, and Stash does take the game for this one. So I hope this was a good, well, educational experience for those of you that did want to get into Buddy Fight. So both of these start decks, as you saw, are very good for beginners. This one is the much more tank focused deck, and you try to kind of survive until you're able to wall out the game. Well, this, as Stash actually showed off really well, is a much more combo based deck where you just attack a lot of times, and then, you know, finish it all off with a big, well, either an impact or a lot of chain of attack. So I hope you guys did enjoy this start deck video. Once again, thank you to Bushiroad for supplying the product, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye bye.